Welcome to the Good Place Marionville podcast, dedicated to highlighting the good in Marionville, Missouri.
And today we welcome local business owner and entrepreneur Pat White of Bluffs Shenanigans. Pat, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me.
You bet. I said right before we started that it's kind of fun because we're literally getting to know you while we're on the air together. So it's like we're having a cup of coffee.
It's real. We're without the coffee.
Real. That's right.
I'm a real surprise.
But we do have Mountain Dew in the studio, so it's okay. All right, okay.
I am excited to get to know you. So first of all, tell us about your family.
Well, I have 3 children. They're 62, 61, and one turning 60 today.
So you had kids at like 15, 17, 10 years old or what?
No, I started at 20.
Okay.
Oh,
wow.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Well, very good. So are they local? Have you?
I have one that lives in Aurora. I have one that lives rural Aurora, and then I have one that lives in Nebraska.
Very good. So still pretty close, all things considered, for the options of the whole country.
So how long have you lived here?
I myself moved here when I was 10 years old from Illinois. Thank the Lord that I live in Missouri. And my mother remarried. My biological father was killed when I was an infant, and she remarried when I was 7. And he was from Cassville. So he was determined to move us here, and I've always loved it here. So I'm happy that happened. And I got married at 18, ran away. I was going to college to be a veterinarian, and then I fell in love, and that's the 3 kids.
The rest is history, right?
Yep.
That's awesome. So I know where you're located now. I've even seen you comment on this on Facebook. You know, you're technically Aurora, but you're just right outside of Marionville city limits. So I'd love to hear more about what got you to your current location and what Bluffs Shenanigans LLC country party venue is all about.
Okay. When we were raised, well, actually, this started, we were living in not Marionville, Verona. And we decided we were going to move, and we did. There was a reason, but that's 50-some years ago.
Okay.
I've lived where we live now.
Oh, really?
And we've raised pigs, we've raised horses, we've raised cattle. And finally, we got too old to deal with all of that. And so we sold the cattle, and I'm sitting there thinking, what am I going to do now? Oh, I'll start a party venue. That'll be fun. Well, it's hard work, let me tell you. It's fun, but it is hard work.
So how long have you been doing that?
This is about our 7th year, I think.
Okay.
Something like that.
So what all do you have to offer out there on your land?
Acres and a creek. And it's just beautiful. And so many people come. There's one story I always tell when the bride-to-be and the groom-to-be come to look for a wedding site. Okay, the groom is bowed up because he isn't interested in looking at any of this, and he'll be the first one gone.
Are you saying that?
Wandering through the stable, seeing all the vintage stuff.
Yes.
Yeah,
and then he falls in love with it.
The grooms aren't really interested in the wedding process.
Not
they
really.
just want to get married.
Not really.
Okay, but I know what you're talking about when you say the stables, because I remember when we were there, we walked through this place where you have stuff set up with all kinds of vintage artifacts, I guess is the best way to say it. So what is the vision of that building?
That was where my horses were stalled. And we decided it was a beautiful building. You know, it's solid oak inside, and then the exterior stall walls are pine. And it was made by these Seymour people, Pilar Builders, and it's just, I think it's a beautiful building. And the vintage stuff, you'd be surprised how much of that has been donated to me. Everyone that comes always says, I've got something at home I've got to bring back to you, and they will.
Yeah.
They will.
So what do people use that building for?
That's for, actually there's 2 indoors that open on the links, and on the sides there's 4, and one other one, it's 5. So when it opens up, it's kind of like an open-air pavilion. And so we use it for everything, birthday parties, weddings, class reunions, wedding receptions, all kinds of celebrations. And it's not air conditioned, so if you're not...
You just said to have 5 big doors.
It's naturally air conditioned.
It has natural flow.
And on today, I hope those doors aren't open because it is windy.
You didn't even have to clear the plates today.
Nope.
They run right out for you.
Go right on down. But the creek is our big draw.
Okay.
That is, we have public swimming, or not even swimming, but just children's play and people play. And one daughter brings her mother to paint, and then she fishes, and the mother is 90 something.
Oh.
So it's such a sweet story there. And the ones that come in and have found it, they don't want to tell anybody because they don't want anybody else to know about it. But they've gotten very
nice.
Huh?
That's not very nice.
Well, it's a beautiful thing for the people, but for you, Pat, we want to keep you in business, right? Yeah. So we don't want to keep it a best kept secret.
No.
But at the same time, we want to preserve all that it's been created to
Exactly. You know, we don't allow on ground fires. Excuse me. We have to have an above fire pit.
Okay.
And so we have 2 public fire pits that anyone can build a fire. Not on today, like today.
No fires today.
Exactly. Thank you for that.
Yes, exactly. Oh, that's awesome.
And, you know, and there's rock hounds that love to check, find stuff in the creek, and they build dams. And then we hike. We have photographers come in. Oh, just about anything.
Wow. Okay.
Celebrations of life.
That's a neat thing to do there as well.
And we had a wedding, and I went somewhere, and I came back. The wedding was over, and the bride was wet. And I looked at her, I said, "Did you fall in?" She said, "No, I got baptized."
Oh,
it's really cool.
Wow.
Really cool.
Well, at least she didn't fall in by accident.
No.
It was all on purpose. So a good photo op, I am sure.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'm guessing that besides us, there may be some other people watching today's show that have never been out onto your property. You have something coming up pretty soon. That would be a great opportunity for them to come and see all that you have available while also getting to participate in something.
Exactly.
So March 29th from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., you are having a swap meet. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. So what does that mean, and what will people experience when they're there?
I'm not exactly sure because this is our first one. We just decided swap meet. I hadn't heard it around the area. And there seems to be a real need for it because we have 30 people signed up to appear and be there with their goods. And
as actual vendors, not people coming to
participate. That's just the vendors.
30.
And we charged $5 because we wanted to get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
And once we have one, and if it's successful, then we'll visit with each one of the vendors and say, okay, how much would you be comfortable with for your rental fee? And how often would you want to repeat this? And try to work it into a permanent.
Excellent. So for people that come to the swap meet, it's not going to cost them anything to get in.
Nope.
But they should bring their money to spend with the vendors.
Yes, they better buy something.
Bring your cash.
We want to make this successful. Now, I know you've said there's food vendors. What other kind of vendors are you going to have?
We have a guy coming with handmade chicken coops. We have makeup. We have jewelry. We have a candle company. Just 3 or 4 or 5 and one family that are bringing storage unit type things. Several at garage sale. I mean, I'm amazed. It's just big
But
variety.
There'll be food for everybody to buy to keep themselves nourished while they're doing their shopping, right?
Right. It's Bama Man Barbecue.
Excellent.
Bama Man Barbecue. All right, directions from your flyer. 22153 Lawrence County Road 2160, Aurora, Missouri. Easiest route is Highway 14 north out of the Marionville Light. 3 miles to 2160. There's a Shenanigans directional there. Turn west. Go 2 miles west. Will be a wiggle in the road.
A wiggle. It's the only one.
And the first gate on the left, you'll know when you arrive at a property, there'll be sunflower. Already there's sunflowers?
No, just metal ones.
Metal
sunflowers.
Okay.
But she's kind of wearing her uniform today.
Yeah,
she's got
a little
sunflowers on her shirt too. So that is just awesome. Well, as you can tell, I'm pretty excited about this for you, Pat. And I really hope that people enjoy it and get to see your property too for other opportunities. I will put a link to your Facebook page. Is that the best place for them to find out about if they want to rent your space or come to things there?
Yes, we don't have a website anymore. We just strictly work from Facebook.
Okay, now I have a question. I didn't ask you this semantically or whatever. Why is it Honey Bluffs Shenanigans?
The creek is Honey Creek.
Okay.
And there's a big bluff that overlooks the creek where we live. So it was just naturally Honey Bluff. That was the name of our farm.
Oh.
And then I had Honey Creek Honey Bluff Shenanigans, and we've had Honey Bluff Crafts, we've had Honey Bluff Appaloosas, we've had everything.
So you're encouraging shenanigans to take place on your property, right?
Yes.
All right.
If you shenanigan, you're shenanigan. Did I say that right? If you shenanigan, you're shenanigan again.
Okay. Very good. Very good. So what else do you have planned after the swap meet that people can maybe look forward to this summer? Or are you kind of seeing where things go?
We're just waiting on, see how the season goes.
Okay.
It's very unpredictable. I've already had an inquiry about a birthday party.
Sure.
But our major events are usually rental.
Okay. Awesome. And I already said they can find out everything on your Facebook page. We'll put that link in there. Pat, thank you so much for being our guest today, coming in and telling us about the swap meet. I hope it's incredibly successful. Later in the show, we're going to talk about all the things that are happening on March 29th. So people can come in town. They can go out to Shenanigans and everything in between. So thank you so much, Pat White.
You're welcome.
All right. Thanks for being here.
Well, that was a lot of fun getting to know Pat White and hearing more about Honey Bluff Shenanigans. And I forgot to mention, Jim, it is Pat's birthday in a couple of days. I saw that on Facebook. So happy birthday to you, Pat, and hope you have fun in celebrating in some way or another.
Yeah, it was fun just to hear more about Shenanigans and the history behind it and where it's really, we were out there. It was beautiful out there. It's just gorgeous. It was fun to be there.
Yes.
All right. I forgot to change the screen name when Pat was in the studio, though. So if you're wondering, it was Pat White.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
All right.
Big
we got
news.
the school news, Jim.
School news. The running of the Squirrels 5K donut run coming up on the 29th. We promised you lots of activities on the 29th. Holy smokes. Started off with donuts. Run 5K. Eat donuts while you're running. Wear a donut outfit.
Dress like a donut.
At the end of the race, eat donuts. Have a contest for the donuts.
And then head on out to Shenanigans.
Or help the fire department, because also on the 29th, the fire department will be installing free smoke detectors around town in conjunction with the Red Cross. They'll be canvassing the town ahead of time, putting out flyers saying, hey, if you need a smoke detector, respond here, and then they'll give us the names at the fire department of who needs to have a smoke detector installed. Just respond to the door knocker, and the fire department will take care of you on the 29th, and volunteers are welcome, not only for the fire department, but for also installing smoke detectors.
Well, I would also say, Jim, if anybody's listening and they may not get, for some reason, they get missed and they don't get a door knocker or whatever, just reach out to City Hall, I would imagine, and you can get on the list as well. Or, we can test the Text My Gov and see how that works and say, hey, I need a smoke detector. But incredibly important, especially when we think of days like today where it could take next to nothing to start a fire with the winds that are going on out there. It's important to have smoke detectors in our homes. So keep yourself protected.
We've had several trees give out today. They just are tired of fighting.
Yeah. So recap on March 29th, get up early, the 8 a.m. for the donut run. Smoke detector volunteers can help get them installed, and then head on out to Honey Bluff Shenanigans for a day with food and shopping.
Mark your calendars for the general election coming up on April the 8th. Each ward in Marionville has an alderman running for re-election. And we pulled up a sample ballot from Lawrence County website, and there's a couple of other items to be aware of for voting day. The County of Lawrence Board for Developmentally Disabled has a question. And the school board, Marionville School Board, has their school board directors, Board of Education directors. They have an election. There's 3 people on the ballot, and 2 people will get elected.
Yes. Also in city news, this month's Alderman meeting is tomorrow night, March 20th. So check out the city calendar for all those details at MarionvilleMO.com.
All right, we're so blessed to have a local community bank like the Bank of Billings right here in Marionville. So convenient. They're so great at banking and supporting the community through the events like last night's at the high school. What went on last night at the high school?
That was last week where they had
it wasn't last
transition night
last week.
at the
I
high
meant to say
school.
last week.
Yes. They help with so many events around town.
They do.
Member FDIC and equal housing lender. We are grateful for the Bank of Billings for sponsoring the Good Place Marionville podcast. In business news, Central Place has 2 offering offices currently for rent. It is a great place to work and focus on growing your business, cutting out the distractions of home or the commute to the office. So if you're interested in a tour, message us on Facebook or call 417-677-8167.
In other business news, did you notice the sign at B's and G's Dairy Crest? Wow. It's getting real,
Getting
people.
closer.
It is getting closer. We don't have an open date from Gary and Bobby yet, but we should maybe just call them while we're doing the podcast, say, hey, what's the deal? And I know it's getting close.
A lot of work to get it done.
Wow. The White Squirrel Community Garden has secured a space for a garden for 2025 at the corner of 14 and Odell. Amber will be hosting a meet and greet this Saturday at 2 p.m. at the Park Pavillion. If you have an interest in learning more and getting involved with the garden, the community garden, please join Amber this Saturday afternoon to learn more, 2 p.m. at the Park Pavillion. She created an event on the White Squirrel Community Garden page, and that'll be in the links to the show.
All right, something I really haven't mentioned much yet is Apple Fest. We'll be here before you know it, September 19th and 20th.
That's 6 months from today.
Okay. Oh, yeah, there you go. 6 months. So a lot is happening. The committees have been meeting faithfully to ensure a wonderful, fresh experience for everyone. And I want to thank everyone who commented on Facebook with ideas and things that you've liked from years past or things that you would like to see. Of course, we can't implement all of them, but some of those suggestions are already in the works. And I'll put a link there to the Facebook. Good Place Marionville podcast's newest sponsor is Todd Wright with Alpha Realty. And we're going to put the links to get a hold of Todd in the show notes.
Todd has a passion for all forms of real estate, commercial, agricultural, and residential. Thanks, Todd, for your work right here in Marionville, fixing up houses, turning them back over to great families, and for supporting this podcast. The Marionville Ministerial Alliance will be hosting the Community Good Friday service on April the 18th at 6 p.m. at the First United Methodist Church right here in Marionville. Join us for a very special time as we observe Good Friday together as a community. Last year, there were people from all of the churches together for the event. It was a lot of fun and just great to see people come together.
It was a beautiful service. So also in Easter news, mark your calendars for April 12th at 10 a.m. for the citywide Easter egg hunt hosted by the Ozarks Methodist Manor. More details are to come, but there will be thousands of eggs. The fire department will be there and a special guest appearance by the Easter Bunny. There's no need to register. Just arrive by 10 a.m. and bring your Easter basket or bag if you have one.
A very special thank you to Todd Wright of Alpha Realty and, of course, the Bank of Billings for showing their support for the good news, the good things happening right here in Marionville.
Consider joining them and become a sponsor for a few shows, a quarter, or a season. You can contact us at goodplacemarionville@hotmail.com.
Good news is easy to report. goodplacemarionville@hotmail.com. And if you enjoy this podcast, please remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel and click the bell to be notified when each episode releases.
Thank you for joining us for the Good Place Marionville podcast. Keep your eyes out for the good, and together we can celebrate Marionville.